Can two walk together unless they agree? Everything in the universe is contracts. Under the law of the land or the law of the sea, everything in the universe is contracts. Careful with your words, cause so shall it be. Everything in the universe is contracts. Don't be fooled by appearances, whatever you see, cause everything in the universe is contracts. I don't agree to the terms and conditions of a citizen. Living men lift the pen and dip it in red ink. Go ahead, drink immortal waters. Here in the flesh now, no matter what you called us in the past and your culture, careful what you conjure. Boogeyman, monster, adept with the knowledge of the stars, cuz the blood running through me is truly divine. To the blind, it's unruly. A kuti fela, too deep for a 2D entity to be my identity. I'm not in the sea, my watch ain't no maritime. Put it on the record so it's all clarified. It's the Elohim, the mellow mystic, Lord Emmanuel. Chief of simonicanation, spike a star seed, the wheat in the virgin's hand. And if you don't know, now you know. Check this out though. You know, just celebrated my 45th solar return a couple days ago. 4-5, the divine 9. Very significant return. You know what I mean? And I want to go into I was going to go into lesson 1.3 of the right to travel course, but I decided because it's just about Supreme Court rulings on the right to travel. So I'll just post that, on the page and go into lesson 2.1, which is understanding titles 1849 and the U.S. codes. And this is the legal framework module. And in this lesson, you will uncover how the U.S. code titles, especially Title 18, crimes and criminal procedure, and Title 19 and Title 49, transportation, are structured to regulate commercial activities, not the free movement of private men and women. By understanding the scope and jurisdiction of these codes, you will learn how to stay out of their reach by clearly defining your status. So, what is U.S. code? The United States Code, USC, is a collection of federal statutes passed by Congress. It is divided into titles, each covering a specific subject area. These codes are commercial in nature and apply primarily to legal fictions, corporate entities, and persons engaged in regulated activity. Now, we went into the definition of person in the first lesson. And legal fiction and corporate entities, meaning the straw man. And that's the game, the straw man game. That if you give your consent, you come under the jurisdiction. If you do not consent, you're not under their jurisdiction. If you choose to play the game, you go by the rules of the game. But you don't have to even play. So it's important to note that these codes do not automatically apply to you unless you voluntarily step into their jurisdiction, usually through contracts or consent. Everything in the universe is contracts. Title 18, Crimes and Criminal Procedure. This title outlines federal crimes, including transportation offenses. Relevant section 18 USC 31. Definition. The term motor vehicle means every description of carriage used for commercial purposes. Every description of carriage used for commercial purposes. So the key takeaway is if your travel is not commercial, then you're not operating a motor vehicle. Under federal definition, Title 18 does not apply to private travel unless commercial intent is presumed or unrebutted. Title 49, transportation. This title governs transportation systems including motor carriers, Department of Transportation regulation, commercial vehicle operations. Some examples. 49 USC 13 102 16 defines motor carrier as a person providing commercial motor vehicle transportation for compensation. 49 CFR 390.5 explains definition for driver, commercial motor vehicle, etc. These laws apply to trucking companies, Uber or Lyft drivers, freight carriers, bus operators, taxi services. These do not apply to a private individual traveling in non-commercial capacity. Simonicanation, national, for example, with private travel documents and no contractual ties to the state. If you got your own documents, you don't need theirs. If you got your own plate, you don't need theirs. If you got your own ID, you don't need theirs. So legal presumption and consent. The trap lies in silence and paperwork. License equals contract to operate under commercial law. Vehicle registration equals legal title held by the state. Failure to rebut equals presumption of consent. You didn't rebut, so that means you consent. Yeah, so I'll stop right there on this lesson here. And the next lesson is 2.2, which goes into the straw man construct and the fraud of licensing. The straw man construct and the fraud of licensing. So it's going to be a lot of good information, good knowledge and wisdom coming from that particular lesson. So you might want to stay tuned for that. But until then, it's the Elohim, the Mellow Mystic, Lord Emmanuel, Chief of Simonicanation, Spike of Star Seed, the wheat in the virgin's hand. If you don't know, now you know.